there's a question from someone who's not on this panel. If I could ask that before we go back to Simon. So just someone's asked, how can an amateur photographer get noticed?
Ooh, get noticed. I don't know. I think the conversation that Marco was having with, sorry, who was it? Was it
with Jess?
Jess, yeah. About self-publishing is an interesting subject, because I'm sure you're aware that anyone can publish stuff, yeah? I guess that's what's great about living in the West, in a way. You can kind of do whatever you like and get it published. So I think that if you, like Marco said, can do 2 or 3 self-published books and, you know, try and introduce them to as many people as possible and get people talking about them, get a buzz, then you can get noticed. If you don't have the contacts and you don't have the kind of platform, then you're never going to get noticed. So you have to kind of get yourself out there, as well as concentrating very hard on what it is you're doing. You have to almost be, you know, your own PR. And, you know, no one will get noticed just shooting and then putting things online and not really contacting anyone and showing them. So you have to get yourself out there and not be shy. And if you believe in what you do and you think that your work is good, then you need to get out there and show people, show as many people as you can.
Okay. Simon, did you want to ask your other 2 questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you think assisting is a good step for a fresh photography graduate? And
yeah,
I read somewhere that you'd assisted Nick Knight in the past.
That's
I wonder
right.
how you found that.
Yeah, I think that if you look at a lot of photographers who are very successful, you'll find that they've all assisted photographers who are also successful. Yeah, and most people, if they manage to spend a lot of time with someone who's in that position, will kind of be touched by that, you know, that in so many ways. So first of all, there's the kind of practical level where you understand how it works. On a day-to-day basis, you see someone going through the prep of a shoot, the execution of a shoot, the post-production of a shoot. You will also see someone talking with their agent about what kind of work they want to get, talking with their agent about potential pitches for shoots. You will see a day-to-day kind of creative process of coming up with ideas and doing research, and you'll be heavily involved in that. And it is a very, very lucky position to be in. So if any of you can do that, even if you are already established yourself as a photographer, like I'd kind of established myself as a photographer in Manchester at the point where I was asked to go and work for Nick Knight, or where I was told I could get an interview. So I basically went back down the ladder and decided to become an assistant, even though I was being paid to shoot for smaller magazines. I decided to go to London and become, you know, an assistant to one of the best photographers in the world. And one of the pieces of advice he gave to me, which I just couldn't relate to at the time, was when you're hired to do photography by an advertiser, get as much money as you possibly can. And I remember thinking, oh God, you know, that I can't do that. I'm shit. That's not what I do. You know, I work for free, even though I was broke or whatever. To get the opportunity to go and work for someone, I would do it for nothing. So, and then when I came out into the real world and saw how it was working, I recognised that you went and said that to someone, they wouldn't hire you. They'd go, well, you're rubbish, you don't believe in yourself. Yeah. So, you know, that was one of the things I learnt about it all, was that, you know, you have to value yourself. and you know, you have to kind of come out of that situation, having learned what you've learned at that level, and go, well, I can do this, you know. And within a couple of years of leaving Nick Knight, I was well on my way. So I think it's really, really important to try, if you get any opportunity to do that, do it. Even if, you know, you work for an assistant, and maybe if you work as an assistant and maybe you're a third assistant or a fourth assistant, there's always room to move up. So, you know, you might think of being an assistant maybe a step down if you are already working and you're already getting money, but it really isn't. I know people who are assistants who are 40 years old, and when they leave, they go sky high. Every person that I was hanging around with in those days, we'd go to the lab, all the assistants would end up at the same lab having their images printed for their photographers, and we'd all chat together, and then all of us as a generation went into the next phase and came out, and we were all photographers doing really, really well together. Amazing. So that, I would say, you know, I can't think of a better introduction to the industry than to be someone's assistant, as long as they're a good photographer and they're a good person.